I'm from Wild Blue Aviation, and I'm just going to walk you through my training tracker and logbook. I made this for student pilots so that you could avoid what I and a lot of my colleagues went through, which was we had the total time, but we were missing some of our requirements. So we ended up having to spend a lot of extra money we didn't have at the time just to get our license complete. Because flight schools, they differ in quality. Some will track stuff for you, and a lot of them won't, because it's just not in their interest. Because if you're missing a requirement, you're going to spend some extra money for them or with them. So this file is not only going to save you on training, but after you're all done, you're going to have a straight ahead logbook. But we'll get into that in a sec. I was going to make an app, but one already exists, and that's Google Sheets. Works great. So I'm just going to show you the features of the training dashboard. So it goes through all the licenses and ratings that most students will either look at or do. I can add the float rating if people are interested. That's an easy one, but I'm just not sure if people are. And here are the typical requirements. And you can see that not all of them are required for each license. The multi doesn't actually have any of them. And this is what you currently have. This is what is required for the license. Here's what's remaining, and then the status, because you may have the required total time, but you may be missing some of these. And then for the license application, you need a certain amount of cross-country PIC, and total time, and that's going to let you know. And here you can choose an individual license or rating, and it's going to tell you what you currently have, what's required, what's remaining, and if it's complete or not. So there we go. So both dashboards, this one and this one, are all based on the logbook. So the idea is you enter your flights once, and then the file automatically calculates everything for you. And the layout is just a very standard logbook. So I'm not going to go through every license and rating, but we'll go through one license and one rating, just to keep this video not too long. So let's go to the PPL. So when you enter these flights, this is going to calculate everything for you. Now, and here are the requirements here. And then this is the only thing you actually input, is when you complete these. So the way this works is that each license and rating, they stop calculating once he gets signed by an approved person. So once your license is signed off, you're done. So let's take a look here. It's just going to keep calculating until I get it signed off. So let's pick where the flight test was. There we go. This is this person, they partialed their first one and then passed their second one. So the second one is October 29th, 2019. And all these have pop-up. And you can either keep clicking back or just here. And look, stops there. And then the CPL continues on the next flight after that. Makes sense? So we go to the training dashboard, PPL is complete. But if we were to say take off the written, for example, it doesn't actually matter what it is. All of these have to be complete. Or it's going to see as incomplete. Go back. Bingo, complete. Let's look at a rating. Oh, and before we go, each one has notes that sort of apply to everything, like enter your flight test under the dual column for the PPL. CPL, it's different because you're already qualified. Look at that. Night time. So here are the requirements. And this is built in that doing sim time is optional. But if you do use it, you got maximum 5 hours. So if you did 6 hours, it's only going to calculate 5 hours. And take that off there. So this is only going to calculate the times that are appropriate for the night rating. Right. And just because sometimes the instrument time can be a little confusing, if it's PPL, instrument time applies, and so I've just made sure that you just have a record of everything you've done. And so on the training dashboard, it's incomplete until we get it signed off. Pick that day, May 3rd, 2020. May 3rd. There we go. Training dashboard. And it is complete. CPL complete. CPL not complete. So I'm going to walk you through some more features, including the exam validity, because sometimes you can write an exam early, but then things happen and you're still not sure how long it's valid for, so this will calculate for you. So let's just pick any date. There we go. And same thing for the CPL written and the NRAT. The print page is handy because sometimes you want to have a physical copy. So what happens is that top of each page has this information, and then the bottom of each page has a place for you to sign, the date, the grand total of that page up until, and the page totals. So you just press print, and voila. And let's just add page numbers. There we go. And so if you want to keep this in a binder, if you want to get your, get your time stamped and all that. And moving on to Hobbs calculator. This is kind of fun to have. You can put a time on your watch and it'll give you the Hobbs time. Or say you start now and you need a 1.4 to finish your license off. Well, it'll tell you when you can keep flying until. And then if you're unsure, any time under an hour, what is 32 minutes? Well, it's 0.5. So yeah, it's handy. Insurance, this is for later on when insurance needs your total times every once in a while. You can actually just choose the times they want, and it'll calculate for you. And you can just pick whatever times happen to be here. Oops. That's from an old one. And it'll calculate for you. This is handy, the cars links, because sometimes you want to make sure, like you maybe have a dispute with your instructor saying, no, you need 10 hours cross-country POC, and you're thinking, maybe it's 5. Then you can just pick your license. Let's go to commercial airplanes. And there it is, right there. This is what you need to keep your personal log, your medical requirements, staying current. This is if you're a commercial pilot. This is the some really important stuff that you need to know, and then some definitions. Nighttime is one that I find is a big difference between younger pilots and grizzled old pilots, because the grizzled old pilots will say 30 minutes after sundown, and that's not the definition anymore. And then once you complete your training, you can just go to the anything to do with training and delete. And then delete everything, and that leaves you a nice regular old logbook. So this is one I actually built for myself. I've spent a few years working on it to make it exactly how I want it, and I'll show you mine. There we go. So I take this to pilot interviews, and I'll just show them whatever they're looking for, because I can easily say it. How much time do you have on a Beaver? Right there. Have you flown this year? Yep, right there. Automatically. How much amphib time you got? Right there. And then, again, you can change, just out of curiosity, how am I looking? So this is this year, and then the line graph is whatever year you choose from the drop down. This is the total time by ident. That's kind of fun. And it shows you the type, total time, and then how much time you've done this year. Currency, all based on the regulations. These are radio buttons, so you just click them once, and then it updates it. Medical expiry, and your license booklet. All right, so back here, and you may be wondering, how do we calculate medical and license expiry? Well, let's go to the pilot settings. So name and your license number, and then that automatically shows up here and here. Date of birth, very important because things change after 40. This is, there's no calculation involved here. This is right from your license booklet. So issue date and then date expires. And then it's color coded. This gets color coded as it's getting close by. So let's take an example. Let's look at the medical expiry. The date of last medical. There we go. So imagine if you're a little older. Let's get you, actually let's get you 78. And class 1, let's go here. Oh, we are now past due. And it will show here. And it will give you a warning. And once you're getting close. Getting close, July 1st, and today is the 28th. So, yeah. Medical class, nice and simple, 1 or 3. And then, very important, do you fly single pilot for a commercial operator carrying passengers? It's purely yes or no. If you fly 2 crew, then it's a no. And that changes that. So, over here, say you want to track, well, you're going to want to track a bunch of aircraft, but in your logbook, there's going to be a few aircraft that you've flown once and probably aren't ever going to fly again. And so you get to choose which aircraft you're going to track. So first of all, here, this is just all the aircraft that are in the logbook. But these are the ones you actually want to track. So this is a helicopter. If you're an airplane pilot, you're probably not going to fly it again, so only choose these ones. And this is basically a drop-down menu of all the aircraft. And if you pick 2 of the same one, it's going to turn up red. There we go. Okay, custom flight categories. So in the logbook, and you'll find this on paper logbooks too, over here under custom, you can choose specific types to track. And so over here, you can go, let's see, float, amphib, tail wheel, turbine, and voila, they change here. And also, you go to the dashboard, these are going to show up here instead of custom 1, 2, 3, or 4. So that is the training tracker and logbook. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And if you want a copy of this file, go to wildblueaviation.ca. And again, this thing is guaranteed to save you money. And you pay once, and all your data is yours. Thanks, everyone.